Best of times.
Best
Of
of
times.
times.
Read it now.
Okay, we're going to read it.
Be careful.
We're starting.
Do you remember 1,000,000 of 98,300?
Okay, we already read some of these stories, so now we're going to go in. And
Just be careful.
Belle's Valentine. I know, because it's so old.
Yeah, I'm broken.
Oh, boy. Okay. Belle's Valentine. So dear, a little girl, so pretty, a little girl, and never had a Valentine. Oops, cried Uncle Joe.
Your time.
I must speak to the postman about that this day. I think the postman must have seen that little Belle had not been treated very well, for on St. Valentine's Day he brought her the sweetest, yes, the very sweetest of valentines. It came in a big basket of flowers. Belle's little heart skipped, beat, pit-a-pat, as she broke the seal. Oh, 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 a real sugar candy valentine, a snow-white sugar heart in the center with a wreath that ran all around it of lovely pink and white peppermints. Oh, oh, oh. So there's the sweetest of valentines. There's her envelope and the Valentine letter and the flowers.
Time here. Oh man, you are going to 59.
Okay. Robin's visit.
Who are those right
It says, the robins that came too soon. One spring, a dozen robins came back north too soon, and they had a hard time. Snow fell, and they found little to eat. One day, a boy stoned them with his sling. That night, they sat on the telegraph wires, sad, hungry, and cold. And one of them said, I wish I were in that boy's nest. What very nice nests boys have. Yes, said another robin, they do. Their nests have roofs over them, and they have fires and whole loaves of crumbs. I dare say that boy who stoned us has a beautiful nest. I think I will go there and peep in, said the first robin. I flew after him today and saw where he went. A window was open a bit in the boy's nest, and the robins flew in. There was no one in that room, but there was a fire on the hearth, and Robin stood and warmed himself. If that boy knew what it was to be a cold bird, I think he would not stone us, the robin said kindly. It would not be a bad thing if boys had to sit on a telegraph wire one night with no crumbs. Just then a door swung open and a lady stood there. Hush, she said softly to someone. Bob, come here, quietly. Such a pretty sight. Here is a bird warming itself by our fire. A little boy came to her side. When Robin saw him, he gave a wild cry and flew to the window. But as he flew up, he saw some cake on a plate, and scared though he was, he caught a bite, and then away he went out into the night. How hungry and how cold that little creature must have been to dare come into the house, said the lady. This is a bad storm, Bob, and when you go out while it lasts, I wish you would carry crumbs with you to scatter. She went back, but Bob stood by the fire. He hung his head. Could birds be cold and hungry, the same as people? That thought hurt, for he had a good little heart. After all, Bob never stoned a bird again in all his life. The picture of Robin warming himself by the fire kept him doing many a cruel thing. When he saw other boys pick up stones to throw at birds, he would say, Don't, I wouldn't. It hurts a bird so much to have his wing or leg broken, as it would you to have your leg or arm broken. How they played strangers. 3 ladies sat in the park. But as they were strangers, they did not speak. The first said to her doll daughter, "Dear, perhaps these ladies should know you have the whooping cough." Cough, cough. The second spoke to her child. "Dear, do not fear, dear. You have been vaccinated." The third said to her child, "Never mind, pet. You have the most dark crimson red fever there is." But as they were strangers, though at home, they were little sisters. They did not speak to one another. The restless girl, Greta. A dear little girl called Greta, the Pearl, Margareta, her grandmother named her, was told to be still, so often that Phil, the parrot, insistently blamed her. "Greta, be still," Polly would say. "Greta, be still, you must obey." She laughed and teased, she vexed and pleased, she was willful and watching and airy. She danced and tripped, she pranced and she skipped, from morning till night like a fairy. "Greta, be still," Polly would say. "Greta, be still, you must obey." She whistled and sang till the house rang with the noise of her innocent riot, till all who were there cried out in despair, "Do, Greta, please, Greta, be quiet." "Greta, be still," Polly would say. "Greta, be still, you must obey." "Don't bang the door, Ted." "No, I never do, but it always bangs itself when I go through." A lesson at the barn. This will be our last story, okay?
Okay.
The pretty pigeons will still coo, coo, and gently have their way. Oh, wait. Am I reading this wrong? Let's see. The pretty pigeons say coo, coo.
Oh, man.
The horses say neigh, neigh. The pretty pigeons still coo, coo. They fly up on the feed box edge. They say coo, coo, again, and through the horse still say nay. They share the golden grain. The pigeons do not peek or scold, only coo, coo. They seem to think that "if you please" are easy words to say.
That's all? Come on, read it.
Little Bessie is crying. I think we should stop her. We could stop her by popping some corn in the little corn popper. In the new little popper, the little wire popper. I'm sure that would stop her. Okay, so we will start the keyhole fairies next time we read this, okay?
Don't forget to subscribe. Or if
Thanks
you
for reading
don't,
our book with us.
if you don't, Siren Head will come.
Okay.